We sing because we know what it feels like to be free.
The knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Walking every day with the right knowledge in our minds. Knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Living every day in the power of our mind.
The subject for today is your debt has been paid in full. So why are you paying for it? Your debt has been paid in full. Now, of course, being that most of us grew up in church, we heard that within the connotation or in the context of the fact that Jesus paid what? Yes, Jesus paid it all. Y'all remember that song? Jesus paid it all to him I owe. You know, well, the truth of the matter is Jesus didn't pay anything. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Okay. Everybody do this. And repeat after me, please. The space inside this circle represents my realm of knowledge. All that I think I know about whatever I think I know is represented right here inside this circle. I must keep in mind that there is more to know than what is within the circumference of my awareness. Okay, now the reason why I do that is because I know I'm going to say something that's outside of your parameter of awareness, like what I just said. For those who are Christians who are watching this, listening to this, when I said Jesus hadn't paid anything at all, I know some of you probably wanted to turn off everything right then. And the reason for that is because we've been taught to reject anything that's outside of what we think we already know. But the truth of the matter is, Jesus Christ never existed. Historically, he is the creation of the Roman Catholic Church from the beginning with the Nicene Council in 325 AD. So that's why I said that. Now go do your homework on that to validate or invalidate, if you can, what I said. But today, when I talk about the fact that your debt has been paid in full, I'm not talking about the debt of or the penalty of what we call sin. I'm talking about the fact that many of you are living in what is called or living as what is known as a debt slave. Look at somebody near you and point to them and say, you are a debt slave.
You are a debt slave.
I don't know if you ever thought about that before. I know you thought Abraham Lincoln set you free. Okay? But you are a debt slave. Now, let's understand this, and I'm going to move as quickly as I can through this because I want to cover this particular topic as well as also go through a standard security agreement. All right? And so that you'll understand what happens when you sign your name at a financial institution. How many of you guys have ever done that? How many of you have taken out loans? All right, how many of y'all still got loans? You still paying on it? All right. Wow, that's interesting. What happens when you go to a financial institution to get a loan or to take out a loan? What happens? First of all, you fill out an application for the loan. Correct? Correct. All right. Now, what's really interesting is because we don't know who we are, grab this carefully, because we don't know who we are and because we don't know what we are, when we apply for a thing and they tell us that our application has been approved, we feel wonderful. We are excited about the fact, oh man, I'm so glad to hear that. But the truth of the matter is, it's really the other way around. Okay? Because you applied for something that's not even going to benefit you. You applied for something that's benefiting the person who told you that your application was approved. And you feel like a great thing has happened because, I was wondering if I'd be approved or not. I was wondering if I'd be approved or not. Well, actually, the whole purpose of the application is for the lender to determine whether or not you are usable. Did y'all get that? Okay? Not to determine how credit worthy you are, but to determine if they can really use you to their benefit, all right, without much fanfare or without any trouble. Okay? If you are ignorant enough, okay, to be used. So after you apply and they say, okay, you know, I think this is a usable person. We can pimp this person. We can exploit this person. Then they have you come back after you've been approved and you fill out what's called a promissory note. Now, here's the deep thing about a promissory note. After you sign it, it becomes value. It's nothing until you sign it. Okay, if your promissory note says that you're agreeing to pay the bank back $150,000, it is just numbers on a piece of paper until you put your signature on it. Same thing as when you write a check out of your checkbook. The check that you write is nothing but worthless paper until you what? Once you sign it, that piece of paper automatically becomes the value of the numbers written on it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. Well, a check as a draft, a promissory note is a promise. Both of them are negotiable instruments. According to the Uniform Commercial Code, a negotiable instrument is tender. So once you sign the promissory note, the back of your promissory note is then stamped by the bank. After you leave out, they turn it over and they stamp it or endorse it just like they do a check. And then they deposit the promissory note into an account in your name. Now, how many of y'all knew that? One hand. Great. Okay. See, you didn't know that once you sign a promissory note, okay, and they endorse it and deposit it, it is monetized for the value that's on that promissory note. So it's just like depositing a check into an account. Do y'all grab what I'm saying so far? Okay. Once it's deposited into what's called a transaction account in your name, which wasn't disclosed to you, by the way, okay? And you need to understand something, family. In order for a contract to be a good contract, it must be with everybody say full disclosure. Full disclosure. Now, what does that mean? That means that they tell you everything about it. Okay, so if they didn't tell you that they're going to create a transaction account in your name, that's not full disclosure. Right. All right, got me? Another element for a contract to be good is it must be in good faith. Okay? And it must be what is called in legal terms with clean hands. Got me? So what that means is, and understand something, there's nothing about clean hands, good faith, and full disclosure with our monetary system. Which means that most, if not all of the contracts that you sign are illegal. Are you grabbing this? The note's deposited into a transaction account that the bank created in your name, okay, which they didn't disclose to you, and you didn't know that it gave them the authority to open a transaction account in your name. You didn't go to the bank to open an account, you went to the bank to get a loan. But in the paperwork that you filled out, you authorized them to open an account in your name. The bank then writes a check from your transaction account to you. And you think that the bank is giving you a loan. But what happens is the bank took that promissory note and sold it to the Federal Reserve or to what is called the securities market. They securitized the note. And once they securitized the note, they sold it, so the bank got the money for the note. You grab what I'm saying? Yes. Okay? So you're saying, well, Brother Ray, okay, I'm following you a little bit. I'm following. Well, so what are you saying? I'm saying that your note got paid. When they sold it, they got paid. Now, the deep thing about it is you don't know this, but the UCC allows the lender to sell your note up to 9 times. Okay, so they collected on it, paid it off in full, and they're going to sell it again and sell it again and sell it again. And we're going to show you in the security agreement where they can do that. You authorize them to sell your signature over and over and over and over again. So what happens is through the bank selling your note, your loan was paid for with that promissory note being sold. Because the promissory note is legal tender once it is signed and endorsed, just like a check. Are y'all with me? Yes. Now, the deep thing about it is your promissory note becomes an asset to the bank. In other words, you deposited money in the bank. So it's recorded as an asset in the bank's ledger. Okay? Now, the bank has to do something to balance that out. You have an asset, you have a liability. Once you give them your promissory note, it becomes an asset for the bank. Okay? So what they have to do is they have to create this account in your name, which you become that liability. It's much like if you deposit a check in the bank. If you go to the bank right now and deposit a $1,000 check into your checking account, okay, that's an asset to the bank. You grab what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay? However, you must have the right to pull that money out of your account. So that's where you become a liability to the bank. So it balances it out. Do you follow what I'm saying? Okay, so what I'm saying is, if you deposit a $150,000 promissory note to the bank, okay, that becomes a $150,000 asset to the bank. They create a transaction account in your name for that amount. But they don't tell you that you can get the money out. In fact, they're telling you that you have to make payments to them. Am I making sense here? Yes. So when, you must understand, everybody repeat after me, the moment I sign a promissory note, it becomes money to the bank. You must understand this. Understand, family, there was no money in existence with regard to this matter until you signed that promissory note. Once the bank stamped it, paid to the order of, it became what is called in commerce a negotiable instrument. Write that down, please. A negotiable instrument. Now, while you're writing that down, everything I'm saying to y'all family is just surface information. Did y'all hear what I said? Yes. Please do not think you can take just what I'm saying today, okay, and solve your issues. What I'm saying today is merely an introduction or surface information to how you need to redeem yourself. Okay, you need to do some homework and do due diligence on this. All right, don't just think you can walk up to your bank based on what you hear from me say today and say, y'all tricked me. Okay, I ain't paying y'all no more. It don't work like that. Okay? Now in essence, you can do that. All right? But not the way I just said it. All right? There are procedures you can go through to hold the bank accountable for the fraud that they've committed on you. Once you get them over the barrel like that, they do not want it to be known that they committed an act of fraud. So they will do one of two things. They will either zero out your account and you don't have to pay anything else, or they'll try to negotiate with you because they know that they exploited you. And now that you know better, you got them over a barrel if you know how to handle it. Do you follow what I'm saying? Yeah. To the bank, your promissory note becomes a negotiable instrument, which is legal tender in law. So that means that to the bank, it has what is called present value. For you, it has what is called future value. Now, what's wrong with this scenario? As I shared on last week, let me repeat that scenario for those who didn't hear it. If you come to me and say, Brother Ray, I need to borrow $10,000. Now, this is exactly what happens, okay, when you go to borrow money. You come to me and say, Brother Ray, I need to borrow $10,000. Okay? And I say, okay, fine, but I'm going to need something of value worth $10,000, collateral. So you say to me, well, I have a diamond ring here that's worth $10,000. I say, okay, give me your diamond ring. Now you think you give me collateral, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take that diamond ring and go sell it, okay, for $15,000. Y'all grabbing this? Okay, I'm getting warm. Excuse me for a moment. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go sell that diamond ring for $15,000, okay? And then I'm going to come back to you with a check for how much? 10. Why 10? Because you asked to borrow $10,000. You got what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm going to sell that ring for $15,000, okay, and then come back to you, give you a check for $10,000, and then not only am I going to give you a check for $10,000, I'm going to tell you now you have to pay me $200 a month for X amount of months, plus you have a 10% interest rate. Now, what's wrong with what just happened? Number one, I didn't loan you any money. Did y'all get this? Yeah. What I did is I took what you gave me and monetized it, okay, and then gave you a check from what I monetized and then led you, again, it must be with full disclosure, in good faith and clean hands. Okay, that's required for a legitimate contract. I'm not disclosing to you that I'm taking what you gave me and I'm going to go monetize it and bring back your own money. I'm not disclosing that to you. I got you thinking that I'm loaning you money. This is the business of banking. This is why banks are such a... Are y'all getting this? Now, if I did that to you, you'd have me locked up. If you understood that's what I did. You report it, I'd go to jail. Okay? For committing a fraudulent act. But yet banks are doing it every day. Mortgage companies are doing it every day. Everybody write down this word, unconscionable. Unconscionable. U-N-C-O-N-S-C-I-O-N-A-B-L-E. Unconscionable. An unconscionable contract. An unconscionable contract is a contract which is so outrageous and so immoral that it shocks the senses to the court system. According to Black's Law Dictionary, a contract, an unconscionable contract, is a contract which no man in his right senses or not under delusion would make on the one hand, and which is no fair and honest man would accept on the other. Now, most of the contracts that you guys have signed are unconscionable contracts. And as we go through the security agreement here today, you're going to see that. So, in essence, when you go to get what you think is a loan, it's not a loan, brothers and sisters. Everybody say, what I think is a loan is not a loan.
What I think is a loan is not a loan.
It's not a loan. Technically speaking, it's an exchange. It's not a loan. You exchanged a negotiable instrument for the value of what the bank is saying that they're loaning you. Okay? If you come to me and give me something of value, and I give you money back for what you say is a value, that's not a loan. All we did is made an exchange. And you need to understand this. It didn't cost me anything to loan you the $10,000. It didn't cost me nothing. So if it didn't cost me anything, why am I making you pay me back with interest? Everybody say, because we don't know no better. Again, my people are destroyed because of a lack of knowledge. The entire banking system, not only the entire banking system in which we live, the entire system, period, that we live in, the political system, the government, the banking system, you name it, the housing system, whatever system we're living in, man, it is depending on your ignorance to survive. In the same way that your promissory note became the funding instrument for your loan, the bank received it as an asset, as legal tender, in the form of money, deposited it in account. Now, according to the Uniform Commercial Code, a promissory note is a negotiable instrument. Understand that. Let me ask y'all some questions, because the bank lied to you. I'm telling you now. Our banks lied to us. Our mortgage companies lied to us and told us that they were loaning us money. Think about this. Think about this. If you open up a finance company, right? Okay. Let's say this finance company just opened up on whatever street. And within the next 2 weeks, 40 people go in to take out a loan for $100,000. Where did they get the money from to loan you? They just opened up. Where are they getting the money from to loan you? You follow what I'm saying? Banks don't have money like that. The only money that banks have are the deposits that are in that bank. You grab what I'm saying? That's how banks are funded, by people putting their money in the banks. And that's why when banks go under, people start wanting to shoot folk. Because you telling me I can't get my money out? Wait a minute, hold up. What you mean y'all shutting down? I can't get my money. No. And so they have this thing called, what is it, FDIC? Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. You know, and a lot of people honestly think that's a good thing. People think, you know, well, they ain't worried about it because, you know, hey, you know, something happened, I'm insured. My money's insured. Do you not know that just because your money is insured, FDIC don't mean you're going to get your money? So you don't read the fine print. It's insured, but how are they required to pay it out to you? Say it again? Over time and little spurts of it. So it ain't really, you know, you got, and they only show up to $100,000, right? Most of them. So you got $100,000 in this bank, $100,000 in this bank, $100,000 in this bank, so forth, da 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 da. And the bank go under, and you ain't worried about it because it's insured. So you think that you can just fill out a form, a claim form, and get $100,000. Where the FDIC gonna come up with all that money? Okay, so they have to learn how. The business of money is learning how to create money. As Minister Stewart told us last week, it's fiat money. F-I-A-T, write that down, please. Fiat money. What is fiat money? What does fiat mean? Fiat means to speak into existence out of nothing. That's why in the book of Genesis where it says, and God said, let there be light. Okay, that was a fiat act of God. And let there be, and there was. Okay? So you see where they get these premises from? Let there be, and there was. So what they do is they take a piece of paper and they write certain things on it, and because you sign it according to the Uniform Commercial Code, that piece of paper is now a negotiable instrument. Look at somebody next to you and say, you actually can write your own currency. Now don't go trying it. Okay? I'm really, honestly, you can do that. Okay? But it's not as simple as I'm saying it. All right? You try it. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to jail for fraud. Let me ask you 4 questions. Okay, well, it's actually 4 parts and several questions in each question. When you went to get your loan from the finance institution, were you told that Title 12, now I'm giving you the law now, were you told that Title 12 of the United States Code, Section 1831 November, Part A, actually says that banks are prohibited from lending their own money from their own assets? Were you told that? No. So there was no full disclosure. Were you told that banks were prohibited by Title 12 of the United States Code from lending you other depositors' money? No. Very good. Did the bank tell you where the money that they were loaning you was coming from? No. Are y'all getting this now? Okay, so if the law says, United States Code, Title 12, actually says that financial institutions are not allowed to loan you the money that they have on deposit in the bank. If the law says that, where are the money coming from that they're loaning you? And they're not disclosing that to you. Another question, were you told that the contract you signed or your promissory note was going to be converted into currency? No. No full disclosure. Were you told that the promissory note that you signed was going to be endorsed and become an asset for the bank? No. Of course not. Banks can't tell you this stuff. They'll go out of business. Did the bank tell you that your signature on the promissory note made it money? No. I'm getting a lot of no's here. According to, and write this down, according to Uniform Commercial Code, Section 1-201 and Section 3-104, your promissory note becomes a negotiable instrument. The banks did not tell you that. Were you told that your promissory note, or let's say now that you know, were you told that your money would be taken and recorded as an asset to the bank and to be sold by the bank for cash without valuable consideration? Were you told that? No. Did the bank give you a deposit slip? No. Think about what I'm saying. You just deposited the value of the promissory note into the bank. And they deposited in their account in your name. When you when you make a deposit to your checking account, they give you what? A deposit slip. They created an account in your name on your promissory note and funded it. Where's the deposit slip? Just as the bank would normally provide you with a deposit slip for your checking account or your savings account. Were you told that the bank would create an account in your name? No, you weren't told this. And that this account would literally contain the money from the promissory note that you signed. No, they didn't tell you that. But yet everything I'm telling you is exactly what happened. And you have the right to know about all that. That's called full disclosure. Do y'all grab what I'm saying? Yes. Same thing with the mortgage company. Same thing. You have the right to know about the mortgage note that you signed, the promissory note. Same thing, promissory note for a mortgage. They did the same thing. They monetized the promissory note and paid off your mortgage. And then sold it and got paid again. And sold it again and got paid. And sold it again and got paid. And you're making mortgage payments. Do y'all see the ripoff here?
Yes.
I mean, I know this is not good news.
No.
I hope it's waking up news, though.
Yes.
The bank owes you the money, the value of that promissory note. So why are you making monthly payments? Because you've been tricked into it. You signed a security agreement authorizing them to hold you by the neck to pay for something that is already paid. So actually the bank owes you. They don't own your promissory note. They made an exchange for your promissory note at the face value of the note. They deposited your note and sold it. Therefore, on their books, they have a liability to you. You don't have a liability to them. Now, everything I share with you so far is fact. Okay? And you can do something about it if you want to climb that mountain. Did y'all hear what I said? Yes. Now it's a mountain you got to climb. All right, let me step over here now and let's kind of go through this promissory note. What you see on the screen, family, is a standard security agreement. Everybody say this with me. A promissory note, is meaningless, without a security agreement. Okay? Now, trust me, a promissory note is the value that it says it is once you sign it. Okay? However, in order for the lender, supposed a lender, to stay in business and make money off this deal, they got to trick you into signing what is called a security agreement. Okay? Now, we don't have the time to go through this word by word, okay, because this is a standard security agreement and it's usually several pages long. But I want you to get the gist of a security agreement. Now, I'm pretty sure that, again, let me see the hands of you who have taken out a mortgage or a car note. Let's be honest, okay? Keep your hands up for a moment. If you read the security agreement line by line, word for word, before you signed it, put your hand down. Thank you. Now, you know why we didn't do it? I'm going to tell you why. We didn't do it Because we were hoodwinked, we were bamboozled into thinking that a good thing happened in our behalf. Do y'all not know how many of us are so happy to know that our credit been approved? Woo! Oh, you nervous? Y'all, I'm asking the village, keep me in prayer. Because I put in application for a loan, and I want y'all to pray that I get approved. Actually, the so-called lender is the one that's happy that you got, because it's all for their benefit, not yours. This is big business, man. Let's understand what a security agreement is. Everybody, and I'm going to say it in one sentence to try to really help you understand it. Everybody say, a standard security agreement, is a document that grabs me by the throat, in behalf of, and for the benefit of, the secured party, which is not me. Security agreement. Now I'm going to go through this. This security agreement, let me get my pointer here. This security agreement, okay, dated this, and they put the day's date in there, is made by and between, okay, your name goes here first as a corporation. As a corporation. Not a live, flesh and blood, breathing, living soul. Are y'all getting this? Yes. Now, again, if you guys remember when I talked about this some time ago on the Uniform Commercial Code, it is against the law in commerce to do business with a flesh and blood living soul. Are y'all grabbing this? Yes. This is why when you were born, your mother in her application for a certificate of live birth signed and authorized the government to create a fictitious entity with your name. And that entity is called a straw man or a corporation. That straw man corporate entity is the entity with your name all in capital letters. Do you follow what I'm saying? Are you sure? Yes. If you look at your driver's license, you'll see that your name is written in all capital letters, which is illegal. A name is a proper noun. Is it not? Okay, according to the law of language, a proper noun must be written in title case. The first letter must be capitalized. Are y'all getting this? Not the whole word. But a corporation in commerce must be written in all caps. So the name on your driver's license is not you. It's the corporation that was created with your name. Are you understanding me? Yes. That's why when you get a ticket, the police officer asks you to sign here. Because once you do what? Sign. Yes. You got to start understanding how important your signature is. This is one of the reasons why I tell people now, because everything now is electronic signature. Okay, you can't even ship a package from UPS now without signing a little square box. Do you know what's happening with that? It digitizes your signature. They can take that and put it on anything. Okay? So I'm telling you, yes, I'm telling you, right here over the pulpit, right through the DVD, right on television, I'm telling y'all, do not sign your real signature when you sign these electronic signature things. Close your eyes, turn your head, and use your left hand. And I promise you it will still go through. It'll go through. Because your signature becomes in commerce your fingerprint. Are y'all getting this? Yes. So you are the what? The debtor. With an address that gives your address, and between you and GMAC or Wells Fargo or Bank of America or whoever. And they become what is called what? The secured party. Everybody say debtor, and secured party. Now, I just told you, if you have a loan out and all that kind of stuff, you are what is called a debt slave. This is one of the reasons why we told you guys about the Uniform Commercial Code Financing Statement, UCC-1. All right? Because once you fill out a UCC-1, it changes your status from being a debtor to a secured party. Are you getting this? Yes. Once you become a secured party, all right, then just like in this security agreement, you make a security agreement when you do your UCC-1, you make out a security agreement contract between you and your fiction. And you become the secured party over your fiction instead of the government being the secured party over your fiction. It's called taking back who you are. They created an entity to do business and commerce without your permission. So when you file your UCC-1, you're taking back what they created without your permission, and then they have to ask you to use your fiction. They don't have to ask you to use it now because you're volunteering for them to use it. When you get a driver's license, you're volunteering for them to use it. Okay? When you get a social security card, you're filling out all information telling them they can use your fiction for their benefit. When you apply for a marriage license, you're giving them the power to use your fiction for their benefit. Did you not know, y'all, that birth certificates, marriage license, all of those things are sold as securities on the stock market? Everybody say it's all about the money. It's all about the money. You got to understand this. This is why it's so important, y'all, for y'all to begin to understand commerce and how to put your money in the right place. We've been trying to tell y'all this here at the African Village. We've been trying to, for years now, we've been trying to tell y'all that. Okay? Notice what it goes on to say. Under the terms hereof, the secured party desires to obtain, grab this now, listen to this good. The secured party, everybody say again, the secured party, in this security agreement is not me. It's not me. The secured party in the security agreement is the supposed lender. And notice I'm saying supposed lender. I don't even know why they do this, man. Why are they getting a security? Because they don't already got their money. When you sign the promissory note, they got their money. The secured party desires to obtain, and the debtor desires to grant the secured party for all of the obligations as hereinafter defined. Now, did you know that when you sign your security agreement, it actually said that you literally desire to grant your secured party all of the obligations in this document? No, you didn't know that. Okay, now, what a lot of people don't understand is contracts. Everybody repeat after me. Contracts is based on offer and acceptance. In order for a contract to exist, an offer has to be made and the other party has to accept it. So when you get a parking ticket, guess what, y'all? That's a contract. The law enforcement officer is offering you a contract and you sign it to say, I accept it. So you have to learn how to say, I don't wish to contract with you. You didn't know that was your right, huh? It's your right to not enter into a contract. I'll say that again. You knew that much. Everybody knows they don't have to enter into a contract. It's all contracts. That's what this is about. It's about offer and acceptance. When they make you an offer, you accept it by signing. So in the security agreement of the contract, it actually tells that you literally desire to grant the so-called lender all obligations defined in this document, but yet you haven't read the document. Now you see why people say, I'm signing my life away. You ever hear that phrase before? They ain't lying. Now therefore, the debtor and the secured party. Now notice this. You didn't write this. This is a standard security agreement. The supposed lender didn't even write it. This is a standard security agreement. Okay, that most lenders use. This is the standard language. So it's letting you write an offer off the bat that security agreements are written in behalf of and for the benefit for the secured party, not the debtor. Does everybody understand that? Yes. All right, so next time y'all get ready to go for a loan, you sign a security, I'm telling you now. Okay? All right. Okay. The debtor and the secured party, intending to be legally bound, hereby agree. So it's actually the document. See, this is why y'all, once you sign this, that's it. Because you're telling them, I intend to be legally bound to you. I desire to grant you anything that pertains to me. And this document is actually worded to whereas the secured party has the right to not only take the collateral, but anything that you possess. They have the right to come in your home, all that's in the daggone document, and take your possessions to satisfy their claim. But you don't know that because you didn't read it line by line. Okay, we all know what collateral is, so I won't waste time with that. We all know what collateral assignment, but just for the sake of reading it here, collateral assignment means a certain collateral assignment of the lessee's interest and lease dated for the benefit of who?
The secured party.
Right. Not for your benefit. Okay? I don't know how to get this line out of here. The loan documents, you know what that is. All right, that's the note. Okay? The loan document is the note itself. All right? And it actually defines for you these things in the security agreement. Bear with me, y'all. I'm trying to navigate this thing here. The note means what? That certain promissory note, dated as the date hereof, made by the debtor for the benefit of who? It's telling you. Obligations. Now check out this, y'all. Obligations shall include all debts, liabilities, obligations, covenants, and duties owing from the debtor to the secured party of any kind or nature, present or future, including any interest accruing thereon after maturity or after the filing of any petition in bankruptcy. You see how they're protecting themselves? It's actually written here, so even if you file bankruptcy, it won't be covered in your bankruptcy. or the commencement of any insolvency, reorganization, or like proceeding relating to the debtor. Whether or not a claim for posting or post-petition interest is allowed in such proceedings, whether evidenced by or arising under the or whatever this agreement, so forth. Okay, so okay, let's move on. Now, brothers and sisters, I encourage you to go to Google, go to the internet, and just pull up UCC security agreement. Okay? And you can read all of this in detail for yourself. This is a standard Uniform Commercial Code security agreement. Okay? So what I don't cover here in detail, you can go read it for yourself. So the next time you decide you want to go get a loan, you know what you're signing for. Now, one thing that, again, a very important point here, I forgot to state. A contract is based on two things. What did I tell you they were? Offer and what else? Acceptance. Offer and acceptance. You don't have to accept what they offer. It's negotiable. So if you see something in here that you don't agree with, guess what you have the right to do? Take that blue ballpoint pen, blue, not black, blue ballpoint pen, draw a line through that phrase that you don't agree with and initial it. You got the right to do that. Because this is about offer and acceptance. Are y'all getting this? Stop selling your soul for a $5,000 loan. That ain't even a loan. I mean, don't get me wrong. They have a right to be protected, but they don't have the right to exploit you. They have the right to protect their interests, okay, but with limitations. Are y'all getting what I'm saying? Yes, sir. The UCC means Uniform Commercial Code. Brothers and sisters, I cannot stress to you how important it is for you to begin to understand how powerful the Uniform Commercial Code is. I remember standing here in this pulpit one day when I was teaching y'all about the UCC 1, and I held up the Uniform Commercial Code and I told y'all this is now the Word of God. Y'all remember I said that? Okay, because on this planet, the UCC is the Word of God. Not even the state statutes for Missouri or any other state. Now grab what I'm saying. What are you saying, Brother Ray? Are you saying that the state statutes don't matter? What I'm telling you is the state statutes for every state are subordinate to the Uniform Commercial Code. And if you go to the Secretary of State website for the state of Missouri, go to Missouri Secretary of State website, you'll actually see a hyperlink that says Uniform Commercial Code. On every state Secretary of State's website, the Uniform Commercial Code takes preeminence over the state statutes, and the state statutes are actually incorporated into the Uniform Commercial Code because the Uniform Commercial Code is the Word of God on planet Earth. Not just in the state of Missouri. Are y'all getting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You need to understand this. You need to know the Uniform Commercial Code like you know your Bible. Well, most of us don't know the Bible either. You need to know it like you know your name, like you know the back of your hand. Okay, let's go to the next point. The grant of security interest. Check this out. To secure the obligations, the debtor, as debtor, hereby assigns and grants to the secured party, as secured party, a continuing lien on and security interest in the collateral. Do you see that? Change in name or locations. What that simply says is you have to let the secured party know if you move, change your address, all that kind of stuff. Or if the supposed location that you're keeping the collateral at, for example, if you have a car and you got this address and you move to another address, this is simply saying you got to let the secured party know where you now live or wherever the collateral is located. Okay, let's go to the next point. Representations and warranties. The debtor represents warrants and covenants to the secured party. Again, see how this is all written for the secured party? It's not written for the debtor. It's not written to protect you. There's nothing in this document to protect you. So since ain't nothing in it to protect you, what do you need to do? Somebody say it again. Protect yourself. Thank you. It's your right to do that. The Uniform Commercial Code gives you the right to protect yourself. It's called reservation of rights. That's why whenever I sign my name on a document, I don't care what document it is, I sign it UCC 1-308 without prejudice. And then I sign what people might call a signature. Y'all get this? Yes. In other words, everybody repeat after me. If I don't say it, to protect myself, then I have no right to be protected. Did you get that, family? Yes. If you don't protect yourself, if you don't declare yourself, if you don't speak up for yourself, then don't get upset when they shaft you. Because the society that we live in is not designed for your benefit. It's designed to exist off you. You are their asset. Do you understand what I'm saying? Every time a baby is born, that's an asset for the United States government. Not a liability, it's an asset. That's why they want your mama to fill out these forms. Your mother's, the new mother is drugged up, she's incoherent. She just gave birth, man. And she's trying to sign some paper. She don't know she's signing. That's how the system is designed, to get you when you least expect it. That's why police raids always happen at 0400 in the morning, 0430 hours in the morning, where people are knocked out sleep. That's when they raid. That's when they decide to raid your house. Not when you are alert and in your right mind. Am I making sense here? The debtor represents warrants and covenants to the secured party that the debtor has good, marketable, and indefeasible title to the collateral. Again, what this is saying is the debtor is telling the secured party that I am usable. Yes, I'm good. I'm a good mule. I'm a good, use me till you use me up. That's what you're saying here, okay? Did you ever made any prior sale, pledge, encumbrance, assignment, or any other disposition to the collateral, and the collateral was free from all encumbrances and rights to set off of any kind, except the lien in favor of the secured party created by this agreement? Again, in favor of the secured party, nothing to protect you. That's why it's called a security agreement. Now, again, y'all, the word agreement at the top of this document means that both parties agree to it. Right. It's not an agreement if there's only one person talking here. So when they give you this document and they tell you, here, you have to sign these papers, and you sign it, you're telling them you agreed to this, and you don't even know what you're signing. So you have to start saying, no, I don't agree to that, no. It's like I went to Lisa Copier in Atlanta, and they gave me a standard security agreement. I went right to point 17 because I knew what it was about. I know this now. I know that when they're going to take the lease that I signed and sell it. Got me? Get paid off of it, and then the next company going to sell it. Next company going to sell it. And they're going to just keep moving my signature around, making money. So when I got to that part, I put a line through it. No, I don't agree to this. Okay? And of course, And about a week later, they called me back. Mr. Hagins, the lease company says they can't approve your contract. I said, well, not a problem, come get the machine. I'll go to another company. Called another company, got the lease, got to that part, put a line through it, I don't agree to this. And the guy, and of course the guy who brought the machine saying, you know, why are you crossing that out? And I explained to him what it is. He said, oh man, yeah, I see why you're crossing that out. I said, because what y'all gonna do is y'all gonna get paid on this and still want me to pay it. I'm not gonna let that happen. I don't mind paying for the machine. Okay, I just don't want y'all exploiting my signature. You're not gonna shop my signature around and get paid over and over and over and over and then still expect me to pay. That's not gonna happen. So they called me on it and I explained what I just said to y'all and they said, okay, Mr. Hagins. And cool. See, so what happens, how many of y'all have ever got a notice in the mail saying that you now have a new servicer?
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Every time that happens, that means they done sold your mortgage, your note. Okay? So the original person that you supposedly took the loan out with, you're not even dealing with them anymore. You're dealing with another server now. Then several years later, another server. Then several years, another servicer. Okay? That's because they're selling that note over and over and over and over again and still making you pay for it. I mean, how many times you gonna screw me? Don't do that to me. Don't use me to make you rich like that. And then it's still, now I don't mind y'all, you know, cool. Okay, if you want to use my signature to get paid on it, cool. Let me know that y'all did that. Okay? So I don't have to send y'all no more money. Okay. Do y'all grab what I'm saying? I mean, is this making sense, people?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Next one, debtor's covenants. Another word for covenant is agreement. Okay, so what this is saying is, this is what you as the debtor agrees to. Okay? The debtor covenants that he, does it say he?
No.
Or does it say she?
No.
Why not?
That's a corporation.
Thank you. So even in their language, they have to literally state that you are a fictitious. You're not a live, flesh and blood breathing person. So they see you as an entity, as a fictional entity. And that's why it says the debtor covenants that it shall, okay, here it is, from time to time allow the secured party to do whatever they want to do. They want to just drop into your house unannounced to make sure that the collateral is still in good shape and everything. They have the right to do that. This is what you're giving up your privacy and everything here. All right, keep the collateral in good order at all times. And again, I can understand this, you know, but there's certain things in here you ain't gonna be doing to me. You ain't gonna be coming to my house unannounced. I don't agree to that. You grab what I'm saying? Okay, like I said, you guys can read all this. This is standard language here. Now notice this part. Negative pledge, no transfer. Y'all see that? Now this is interesting because it's actually written, you can't sell the collateral, but they can sell it. Okay? The debtor will not sell or offer to sell or otherwise transfer or grant or allow the imposition of a lien or security interest upon the collateral, so forth, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. Further assurances. Debtor hereby, what's that word, y'all? Irrevocably authorizes secured party at any time and from time to time to file in any, what's that word?
Uniform Commercial Code.
Thank you. They know how powerful the UCC is. Everybody knows how powerful the Uniform Commercial Code is, but us. I mean, come on, let's be honest, family. I'm gonna just take a shot in the dark here. What other pulpit had you heard anybody tell you about the Uniform Commercial Code from?
No.
Thank you. The things that our people need to be taught for their empowerment, they're not being taught from pulpits. Every pastor needs to be telling their congregants about the Uniform Commercial Code, instead of telling them to pray that the Lord make a way for you. The Uniform Commercial Code, they know about it. That's why it's in their document. The Uniform Commercial Code is the Word of God on planet Earth. And the reason why it's called Uniform Commercial Code is because it is the standard of commerce all over the world. So when you file your UCC 1, it's not just good in the state of Missouri, it's good in Japan. It's good in Great Britain. Because it's a uniform commercial code. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's an international lien. It's an international document that gives you the power over that which belongs to you, such as your driver's license, such as your birth certificate, such as your marriage license, such as your... Am I making sense, people? Because see, until you make that declaration, all these other documents are being monetized by the government, and you don't know it. That's why they want you to get licenses for everything. You don't need a license to drive a car. Did y'all hear what I said? Yes. Now don't, I know if your license is suspended, don't say, oh, thank you, Dr. Hagins. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Okay, because your license is suspended and you get pulled over, you get in a ticket or maybe arrested. Unless you know how to stand on your square. Are y'all following what I'm saying? Okay, so you need to understand. Once you can tell an officer that why you don't need a license. A lot of people don't know this. A driver's license is only required to do business in transportation on the roadways of America or anywhere else. You do not need a driver's license to travel. You're traveling, you're not doing business. In other words, if you're operating a business, a trucking company or something like that, if your income is derived from your driving, then you need a driver's license. It's all about money. It's all about commerce. Traveling, the right to travel is your unalienable God-given right. Look at somebody next to you and say, you don't need a license to do anything that God has given you the right to do. It's called your unalienable right. It's called common law, not statutory law. Y'all remember a few weeks ago, I had Minister Stewart, she was reading my notice of understanding and intent and claim of right. It's because I declared, I made a statement. It's filed in the St. Louis County Recorder's Office. It's a legal declaration for Ray Hagins saying I am no longer a statutory law citizen. I'm a common law citizen. Do you understand? Unless you tell them that, they will treat you as a statutory law citizen. Am I making sense, people? Yes. What is common law? Common law is simply the way God intended for things to be. Period. You have to understand, the reason why they want you to get licenses for everything is because it's money for them. So that you'll know. Let me give you the definition of a license and write it down, please. According to Black's Law Dictionary, a license is that which grants you permission. Notice I'm using the word permission, not the right. A license is that which grants you permission to do what would otherwise be unauthorized. Now let me ask y'all a question. Do you have the God-given right to marry?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Then why do you need a marriage license? Thank you, because they told you. It's about commerce. Because once you apply for a marriage license, you don't know this. Once you apply for a marriage license, you actually make your home, your family, your children, and your possessions a ward of the state. Did y'all hear what I just said? The state now has jurisdiction over everything that pertains to your marriage. Your bank accounts, your children's future, your everything. You don't need a license to drive. Anything else they tell you need a license. Now, again, you need a license to conduct business over the roadways. So if you're a truck driver, yes, you need a license because that's income you're getting am I making sense? But according to the law, you do not need a license to travel. Okay, debtor hereby irrevocably authorizes a secured party at any time from time to time to file the Uniform Commercial Code jurisdiction and any financing statements and amendments thereto that indicate the collateral as all assets of debtor or words are similar to, okay, so forth. In other words, what it's actually saying is you are authorizing the secured party to file a UCC1 statement on you or your collateral. Now you see why I was telling y'all everybody need to file a UCC1 statement on themselves. You need to do that now. If you haven't done it, you need to do that, okay? Because what happens is your UCC1 statement takes preeminence over anyone else's UCC1 statement if it was filed before theirs was. So, how do you say it? Going forward, you need to secure yourself. Do y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You need to secure yourself. Remedies. Upon the occurrence of any such event of default and at any time thereafter, the secured party may declare all obligations secured hereby immediately due and payable, and shall have in addition to any remedies provided herein or by any applicable law or in equity, all the remedies of a secured party under what?
UCC.
Yeah, they're referring to it again. I can't stress to y'all how important this UCC1 thing is, man. It's a very powerful document. Okay? However, I had to kind of ease up on teaching people about it because people were abusing it. You got what I'm saying? See, you can't put power in everybody's hand. Especially if their heart ain't right. Okay? The worst thing you can do is put a hand grenade in the hand of a fool. You don't do that. Okay? Because what they do is they start using it indiscriminately, using it for the wrong purposes. I mean, really, brothers, trust me when I tell you, okay, this thing is so powerful that people who are in prison can actually get out of prison with this UCC1 thing, man. I mean, because you can actually take back, okay, I don't want to go because, yeah. Because see, you know, it's deep because I talked about this in Charlotte a few weeks ago, and I just touched on it. And this brother came up to me afterwards. He said, Dr. Hagins, I need you to help me out, man. I'm facing a 5-year rap, man. That's not what this is for, family. Okay, this is not, you know, if you broke the law, you done stole from somebody, you need to be in jail. Okay? This is for the people who are right, doing ma'at. Okay? But being abused by an evil system. Let's move through this. Reservation of rights. Preservation of rights. Okay. Okay, I highlighted certain things I wanted to focus on because all of it is important. But that's why I said, y'all pull it up, please. Read through it on your own, okay? Changes the writing. Check this out. Now, notice what they did here. Notice what they did. They actually tried to put an article in here that says you can't change any of it. Got me? Which means they're saying you can't cross out anything you don't agree with. You can't alter it. No modification, amendment, or waiver of any provision of this agreement, nor consent to any departure by the debtor therefrom will be effective unless made in a writing signed by the secured party, and then such waiver or consent shall be effective only in the specific instance and for the purpose for which given. No notice or demand. So actually what they're saying is here, if you don't know any better, okay, they will make you think that you do not have the right to change the wording here. Okay, you don't want to change the wording. You're not trying to change it. You're not trying to modify the wording. You're simply saying, I don't agree with this point. Okay, the point, and again, that's don't let them put you into anything you don't agree with. Next point, the entire agreement. The entire agreement, including the documents and instruments referred to herein, meaning any attachments like exhibits A, B, whatever, okay, to have extra explanations to it, okay, constitutes the entire agreement. Check this out now, and read, if you can read this part with me. Supersedes all other prior agreements and what? Understandings, what? Both written and oral between the parties with respect to the subject matter thereof. The reason why that point is so important, okay, is especially because in negotiations, when they're trying to sell you a car, when they're trying to make a sale, or when you before you actually sign this, they're liable to say anything to you to make you buy it. You grab what I'm saying? And this statement right here actually says that the security agreement cancels out whatever other promise they might have made to you. So after you sign it, then something comes down the pike and you say, well, a man told me such and such and such and such. Well, he may have said that, but you signed an agreement otherwise.
Right.
That's why you got to read this stuff, family, because see, once you sign it, that means that you read it. You understand what I'm saying? In a court of law, you can't say, well, I didn't know that was there. The judge said, well, you signed it. And signing it, it means that you agreed to it. And how you going to agree to something that you know? Okay? Successes and signs. Now, you heard me talk about 17, right? Right. Okay, check this out. Successes and signs. And we just read previously, they say you can't sell it. Okay, but here it says, this agreement will be binding upon and endure to the benefit of the debtor and secured party and their respective heirs, executors, administrators, successors, and assigns. What this is saying is, if you have a loan and you die, this statement right here actually says that your heir is obligated to fulfill that note. Now, how many of y'all knew that? No. See? No. This means by law, they can actually come after your estate. Okay? Your executors, administrators, successors, and assigns. Provided, however, that the debtor, now check this out, you cannot assign this agreement in whole or in part without the secured party's prior permission. But yet they can sell the note without your permission. Okay? And of course, it always says the governing law, jurisdiction, whatever state it's done in. And then here's the real clincher right here. And they put this stuff here because they know it's illegal. They know what they're doing is illegal. So to protect themselves in their illegality, notice what it says. Waiver of jury trial. You're already signing a waiver. You say, well, you know, you realize you've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, misused, you know, an illegal act has been committed, and you decide you want to take them to court. Okay? And of course, especially here in St. Louis. I can't stress it enough. I can't stress it enough. Okay? There's no place in this country where the judges are not working for the people like here. You grab what I'm saying? Yes. Okay, the judge, in fact, a lawyer said to me, I'm telling you now, the judges here are lender-friendly judges. And I'm quoting him. Now, what does that mean? Right. From Jump Street. Okay. Now you can actually, if you know how to, you do your homework, you know how to take out a bond on the judges. If a judge is hearing your case, okay, you can actually take out a bond on that judge. Take out a bond on the attorney that's supposedly representing you. Okay? Now that's a whole nother discourse. Please don't expect me to try to explain it to you right now. All right? But what that means is if the judge, if the attorney is not working in your behalf, they can be disbarred and never allowed to practice law or sit on the bench again. Waiver of jury trial. Each of the debtors and the secured party irrevocably waives any and all right it may have to a trial by jury. Why do you think that is? Well, it's going to go to court. Okay, but it's going to go to court and it's not going to be allowed to go to a jury. Why not? Because the jury of your peers, once they realize what's happening, they're going to say, we award him $8 million. A jury of your peers, because see, for this to go to court, to a jury trial, everything I just explained to you will be explained to a jury. And those jurors will be sitting there saying, damn, you mean you mean I'm paying for a mortgage I ain't supposed to be paying for? I'm paying a car note and they don't know. That's why they can't allow a jury trial. So you're signing in this, no jury trial. The very fact that they got that at the end ought to tell you something ain't right about it. Because it was done in good faith, okay, with clean hands, with full disclosure. What do you got to worry about? And of course, the execution page always follows, it's usually called Exhibit A. That's when they write other things on there that's not covered in the standard agreement that they want you to be bound by. Does everybody understand what I'm talking about here? Yes. Liberation means being free, not enslaved. That's what liberation means. And it's so important for us to understand, brothers and sisters, that we who are, see, there's a difference between having information and being liberated. Having information about your culture, your history, your past, what happened to us as a people, all that's good, okay? But until you begin to appropriate your power, and I think you might have, if anybody's been listening to me for any period of time, you've heard me say this, I will say it again, and I'm going to say it again, I'm going to say it again in the years to come. Black folk are good, law-abiding citizens. But we are not law-appropriating citizens. Your power, your deliverance, your liberation, your what is that thing that black folk trying to get from the government? Reparations is in knowing the law. Start studying the Uniform Commercial Code, especially sections 3 and sections 9. Start studying it. You don't have to go buy the book. You can pull it up online. The Uniform Commercial Code. Start understanding what a negotiable instrument is. Start understanding what tender of payment is. According to the law, if you make a tender of payment for a debt and that tender of payment is refused, hear me. and that tender of payment is refused, according to the law, that debt must be discharged. How many of y'all have ever heard commercials on television saying, if you owe X amount of dollars, da-da-da-da-da, come see us and we'll get it reduced for you, and da-da-da. And I owed the IRS $46,000, and I went to see such and such, and they cleared it up for, I only paid $12,000, and I thank God for that company. You just didn't know the law. Only thing that company did was made an offer. Again, it's all about two things. What? Offer and acceptance. Yes. They made an offer, it was accepted, and therefore it was accepted as full payment for the debt. You need to understand this, family. Stop living enslaved. Am I clear? Now there's so much more I can say on this, okay? But that would literally require like a weekend workshop. Okay? And I know y'all gonna say, so when we gonna do it? Okay? I'm trying to just jumpstart you right now. I'm trying to get you understanding what's happening to you, that you are a debt slave, and you can change that. Okay? You can change that. You can actually communicate to your creditors and have them justify the so-called loan that they claim you owe them. Okay? Yes. They're saying you owe them a debt. Have them prove it. Now, while you're doing that, keep making your payments. Grab what I'm saying. Keep making your payments while you're doing that. Okay? Because if you don't make the payments, guess what? They're going to automatically say you defaulted. Got me? But you have the right, okay, to have a full disclosure of any history pertaining to this so-called debt they say you owe. You have the right to that. And if they don't disclose it, then you have the right to take them to court. And guess what they're going to do at that point? They're going to negotiate with you. Just like they did Lieutenant Horton. And took $150,000. Bank of America took $150,000 off that man's mortgage. $150,000. When he called me, I thought something bad had happened. He said, Chief, I can't quote him because I'm in the pulpit. But he said, man, I got some blank to tell you. I thought something bad happened. I said, well, is everything okay? He said, man, this blank is... I said, do I need to sit down? He said, man, you may want to lay down for this. So I'm really thinking something bad done happened. I said, well, what is everything? What happened, man? And he said, man, he said, brother, I got a letter, and he read it to me from Bank of America because he challenged the legitimacy of his mortgage. And he ended up taking him to federal court. Now, trust me, they ain't just gonna lay down and say, okay, you got us. No, because you're talking about institutions that got buku money, who can pay buku lawyers. Okay, so you have to be able to stand on your square. You can't hire an attorney for what I'm talking about. Got me? Who can tell me why? Thank you. Attorneys are members of the bar. And for those who don't know, BAR stands for British Accreditation Registry. What country did I just say? British. Ain't that deep? See, y'all need to understand, the United States ain't nothing but a colony of Great Britain. Thank you, exactly, they're esquires. You see? So attorneys do not work for you, they work for the British Crown. And then after that, they're an officer of the court. So you have two entities that take preeminence over you, the Crown and the court, before they start worrying about you. And a lot of people don't know this. When you hire an attorney, what you're telling the judge is that you are incompetent. That's what hiring an attorney means. You know, you're telling the court, I had to hire somebody because I don't know what to say. So I had to hire somebody to speak for me. And that's why when you get in the courtroom, the judge will tell you that let your attorney speak for you. You can't speak. Okay? Why are you going to hire somebody to speak for you? Learn the law, learn the statutes, so you can speak for yourself if need be. Am I making sense, family? Now trust me, what I'm saying, brothers and sisters, is not something that you can just do part-time. Okay? What I'm talking about, man, takes research, time. And if you, it's a mountain to climb. Okay? And I found out that some people would just rather remain a slave. It's easier to remain a slave than to climb the mountain. I just make my payments every month. I ain't got time to go through learning all this kind of stuff. But it's not as difficult as you think, man. The biggest thing is, while you're challenging your so-called lender, keep making your payments and start sending them tacit contracts. Who remembers what a tacit contract is? All right, I'll tell you. A tacit, Sharon Hopkins is the lender, supposed lender that I supposedly owe money to. Right? Okay, now, the main thing I want to do is I want to keep my credit in good standing. Right? So now what do I need to do to be sure that happens? Keep making the payments. Right? Now, while I'm making the payments, I'm calling this Sharon, okay, it's been my understanding that, you know, this is what happened to my paper, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Can you justify or explain to me or show me proof that what I'm saying is not true? Got what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, Sharon is going to say, well, you signed an agreement, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm saying, Sharon, I'm not saying I didn't sign an agreement, okay? But I'm believing that this was an unconscionable act, okay? So on the grounds of unconscionability, all right, I want to know that everything is on the up and up, that this is really in good faith with clean hands, okay, with full disclosure. And based on what I'm understanding, this was not disclosed to me. And as you know, Sharon, if full disclosure does not take place, that's grounds to negate the contract. Y'all grabbing how I'm saying? I'm not calling them any names. I'm speaking to them with dignity, right? And I'm letting them know, man, hey, did you see? And then he says back to me, well, I assure you everything was done on the up and up. Well, can you send me a history, okay, of the transactions? Can send me the original note? Well, they're not going to send you the original note. Okay? I need to see the note that I signed with you guys. That's a no-no. No. Not going to let that happen. Okay? Now at that point, I've been nice. I've been kind. You got what I'm saying? So now it's time for the tacit contract. Okay? Evidently, fraud has taken place. It appears to me that a fraudulent act has taken place and I'm a victim of fraud on your part. Okay? Now, I'm giving you 14 days or 21 days or 60, how many days you want to give them? I'm giving you 21 days, da-da-da-da-da-da, and then state your points. Am I making sense? You state your points, okay? And at the end of stating your points, you give them X amount of days to invalidate what you said. Okay, stating that if you fail to invalidate what I've said point by point, okay, with full explanation within a certain period of time, then you agree that fraud has taken place. You grab what I'm saying? Okay, that's called a tacit contract. All right, and after after the amount of days that you have allowed has expired, then that which you wrote becomes a contract in law. So if they fail to respond, everybody say acquiescence. Acquiescence. Acquiescence in law means that I agree to what you said because I didn't speak up. Okay, then once you get that tacit contract in place and they did not respond, showing that they've committed an act of fraud because of their acquiescence is saying that you're accusing them of fraud and they ain't saying nothing. Then that gives you your grounds to have this whole thing dismissed. Do you follow what I'm saying? Okay. All right, I hope what I shared with you today, family, made sense. I hope it's helpful to you in empowering yourself. And again, I repeat, what I said today is only surface information.
Yes, sir.
I didn't even scratch the surface good, man. I didn't get 1/8 down into the dirt. 1/8 of an inch deep into the dirt of the fraud that takes place in commerce today. Okay, but I'm just sharing enough with you to jumpstart you, all right, to start, take the time, man, take the time. You have the right. See, we are so punkish. We are so punkish, we honestly don't even want to write a letter of challenge. So we think it's going to mess up our credit. I don't want no trouble. Okay, so because you don't want no trouble. Okay? No, man, you have the right to find out the history of your note, the history of your transactions. Ask them, challenge them. I'm made to understand that you guys created a transaction account in my name with this note. I didn't receive a deposit slip for this. Okay, am I in error? You see what I'm saying? Challenge them. Let them know that you know enough that if they lie, you're going to know they're lying. Okay? A lot of you guys are paying bills you really don't need to be paying. Okay? Yeah. And you'd be surprised, a lot of companies, once you get them to this point and they see that you're about to expose them, you can just negotiate and say, listen, here's my proposal to you. Again, it's contract. It's about two things. What is it again? Offer and acceptance. Right. Okay, here's where we are. I see that I'm offering you, okay, the opportunity so that we don't proceed, so I don't proceed any further in legal matters against you. I'm offering you at this point to just zero out my account and we'll just let bygones be bygones. Okay? Or you can be gung-ho and try to go for all of it and get all your money back. But most people are just satisfied with saying, you know what? Okay, I'm finding out now I'm a victim of fraud. Okay, at this point, I'll tell you what. My offer to you is zero the account. Okay? And, send me notification that this account has been satisfied. You keep the money of mine that you got, and I'm going to go on my way, you go on your way. You done got paid, you done got your money, so let's let bygones be bygones, and I'm done with this matter, and we're done with it. Some people go that route. Okay, so either you can be a slave to the system, or you can remove yourself from their control like that. Now, I'm not saying get rid of your citizenship. I ain't talking all that kind of stuff. All right, you need to belong to a nation for protection. You got what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm not saying get rid of your citizenship. Okay, but you can stop them from using you. Okay, pimping you. Exploiting you, okay, using your credit, using your good name for their benefit. That you can stop. Okay? All right. Ashe.
Ashe.
And then we'd sing because we know what it feels like to be free.
The knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Walking every day with the right knowledge in our minds. Knowledge of the truth will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Living every day in the power of our minds.
The knowledge of the truth
will make us free. That's how Africans ought to be. Walking every day with the right knowledge must be free. Africa and Africans must be free.
We gotta be free,
We gotta be free.
you and me.
You and me.
We must be free,
We must be free. Africa and Africans must be free.
we gotta be free,
We gotta be free.
you and me.
You and me.
Oh, we must be free,
We must be free.
Africa and Africans must be free. We gotta be free,
We gotta be free.
you and me.
You and me.
We must be free,
We must be free.
Africa and Africans must be free.